Hey guys, Adam here with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Mammoth 3-inch front leveling kit spacers available for the 07 and newer Tundra. You should be checking this out if you're looking to accomplish one of three things: gain some additional ground clearance at the front end up to 3 inches, if you're looking to level out your truck's appearance matching the front suspension to the rear, and if you're looking to add larger wheels and tires to your truck without running into any rubbing or trimming issues. Right off the bat, guys, that's one of the biggest reasons people pick up a leveling kit. They're looking to add larger wheels and tires, and that can prove to be a little bit difficult on these Toyota Tundras. The wheel well there doesn't allow for enough space to add up to 33-inch tires without modification. 3 inches of leveling kit spacer here, like the one from Mammoth, is just enough room, however, to let you fit those larger wheels and tires comfortably without any rubbing at full turn. Now, unfortunately, with these trucks, you can't fit anything larger than a 33 without going with a much larger leveling kit or lift kit, like a 6-inch, for example. But if you're looking to fit 33s on this truck, this is definitely going to be the way to go to make it the easiest on you. In addition to that, you should be checking this out if you're looking to level out your truck's appearance, like I said earlier. Leveling out your truck's appearance is not that difficult. Now, your truck comes with what's called factory rake. Rake just refers to the front suspension being a little bit lower than your rear to help with towing and hauling applications. Now, a lot of guys don't like the look of an uneven truck suspension, in which case 3 inches of leveling at the front end is the perfect amount to level out your truck completely, getting the front even with the rear. Finally, ground clearance is definitely a factor. If you're looking to do some light off-roading with your Tundra, your factory suspension leaves your front bumper hanging pretty low to the ground, which means you're susceptible to damage from smaller obstacles both on and off-road. 3 inches of additional height at the front end can make the difference in getting over obstacles you may not have otherwise been able to, again, both on or off-road. Now, with a 3-inch leveling kit like this, don't expect to be going all out with hardcore off-roading, but it can be a little bit of a help at the campsite, work site, or just daily driving. Now, the price tag for this kit comes in right around $100, making it a pretty affordable mod to do to the front end of your suspension, and the quality here is definitely some high quality stuff. This is made from a CNC machined billet aluminum construction. It's got a black anodized coating on top of that to help with corrosion and oxidation resistance, so this guy can hold up in the long haul. Now, there are some more premium options out there with a higher price tag if you're looking for a steel construction, but keep in mind, depending on where you're located at, if you're located in wintry weather areas that see a lot of road salt, steel can corrode over time, in which case aluminum may be the better option for you, but it does come down to personal preference. Keep in mind, guys, that the physical spacer measures in at about 1 3/4 of an inch, but your final lift height will be 3 inches after the changes in suspension geometry and spring compression. Now, the install for this, I'm giving 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. It doesn't require any cutting, trimming, or drilling. It is a direct bolt-on. It's just a little bit more involved than, say, a cold air intake. It'll take you about 2 hours from start to finish, maybe a little bit longer depending on your personal experience. I'll walk you through the entire process here. What do you say we get started? Tools used in the install include an air impact gun, cordless impact, a ratchet, a couple of different extensions, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 17 millimeter sockets, 19, 22, and 15/16 deep sockets. A swivel joint is recommended, hammer and a large breaker bar, 12 and 18 millimeter ratcheting wrenches, 22 millimeter wrench, and a pry bar. First step for the uninstaller, grab your impact gun and a 22 millimeter deep socket. We're going to loosen and remove the bolt at the bottom of our sway bar end link and follow it up with removing our sway bar brackets. All right, grab your 22 socket. We're going to remove the bottom of our sway bar end link, this 22 bolt. Next, you want to follow the sway bar to the bracket connected to the frame. Now, it's easier if you do this simultaneously on both sides, so you can really free up that sway bar. I've already knocked out the other side. Grab your 17 socket and get the 2 bolts off. Next, we're going to remove the bolt connecting the bottom of our strut to the lower control arm. Grab a 22 wrench and hold the bolt head, 22 socket on the nut on the other side. All right, you may need a hammer to tap that guy out. All right, it also helps to use a chisel to tap it through. All right, next we're just gonna crack loose but not fully remove the lower control arm cam bolts connected to the frame. That's gonna help us swing the lower control arm down a little bit later. Grab a 15/16 deep socket. I recommend using a breaker bar because these guys are on there tight. All right, I'm going to use the same 15/16 deep socket, but a swivel on it to hit the other side. Next up, we can remove the two 22mm bolts holding the lower control arm to the knuckle assembly. Now, I'm gonna hit the one on the far side first, and then we'll come hit this guy, and after that, once both of those are removed, the lower control arm should be free to swing down. There we go, and we can grab a pry bar and help pry that down. Next up, I'm going to use a 14mm ratcheting wrench to loosen up and remove the 4 nuts at the top of our strut tower. All right, with that last one out, you can pull the entire strut out in one piece. Next up, we have our factory strut on our table from our driver's side. We're going to install our 3-inch spacer. Now, this guy is going to drop on only one way, so you're going to have to rotate it until it drops on, and your factory studs should go through those larger openings. Grab the factory 14mm nuts and put them back on the factory studs. I like to use a 14 socket to help thread those guys on so it doesn't cross thread. Just go on a couple of threads all the way around and then we'll tighten them all down. Okay, grab your impact gun and tighten those down. Okay, now we can throw the entire assembly back in the truck. All right, next step, we can feed our strut back in. You just want to make sure you're orienting it properly so that the threaded holes at the top of the spacer line up to the open holes at the top of the strut tower. All right, basically gonna prop this guy up, grab one of the bolts included in the kit, have a split and a flat washer over that. We're gonna line it up to those threaded holes, so you just wanna feel around for them. Now that we have all 4 bolts in, grab a 16 socket and a ratchet and tighten them down. All right, at this point, we can swing up our lower control arm. I'm gonna seat it on top of this floor jack here, just so we can have an easier time jacking it up. And we're also gonna simultaneously seat it with our bottom of our strut. Just like that. Bring the strut into position, push that into place. Now we can start jacking this thing up. At this point, I'm just gonna use my hydraulic floor jack to jack this guy up. We may need to use a pry bar to help get the lower strut into position to get the bolt hole to line up properly. All right, once you get that guy lined up, grab that longer bolt and your hammer and tap it in. All right, I'm gonna put the nut on the other side. Next, we can pick up our sway bar, drop the end link into position, and put that bolt through. All right, at this point, I'm going to slowly jack up the lower control arm to match it up with the holes on the hub. All right, once you have both bolts on both sides, tighten them down. Grab your 22 socket and tighten them down. All right, grab your 19 socket and tighten down the bottom of the sway bar end link. Grab your 22 wrench, hold the bolt for the bottom of the strut, 22 socket on the other side, and tighten it down. Next up, grab your 17mm bolt for the sway bar brackets. I'm going to put it through the bracket, have it ready to tighten, and I'm going to start threading it in. Same thing on the other side. All right, now we can tighten down those lower control arms. At this point, grab a 16 socket. I'm going to recommend a short socket and a ratchet and tighten down the top 4 strut bolts. That's going to wrap up my review and install for the Mammoth 3-inch front leveling kit for the 07 and newer Tundra. Get yours right here at extremeterrain.com.